Hey, my friends. So it is January 20th, and a lot of stuff is happening today. It is, I believe, Martin Luther King Day. It is also Inauguration Day. And for those of us in Los Angeles, it is the start of another influx of Santa Ana winds. So I believe there's a high wind warning for today until sometime Tuesday afternoon, I believe. That's what I was checking on my phone. But uh, I wanted to make this video just to try and, for myself, be productive during this time because my channel is about my journey of starting my life from scratch and trying to live my best life. Uh, and all of that is been happening, since basically last year, the beginning of last year. I started uh, my entertainment company, my LLC, and have moved in this direction of content creation. And uh, it's been a journey because um, I've said many times before, I'm an SGI-USA Nichiren Buddhist, and I've been trying really hard to live my life, you know, using my spiritual practice of living from a place of happiness and creating happiness for myself and for others. Uh, and in a way, when I've started this journey of starting my life from scratch, I've been kind of doing it by taking a major spiritual leap of faith that kind of following um, my spiritual belief system would help me, as I'm moving through. And it has, uh, but the challenge has been um, learning to actually live those spiritual principles versus how I was living my life before. And it feels like with um, these LA fires and, now the second round of Santa Ana winds, um, everything is kind of coming home to roost in terms of fears and whatnot because I left, a job in talent management, uh, as I've said before, because of the toxic work situation that was just so bad that if I didn't leave, I would be kind of saying yes to all the toxic things that were kind of being said to me on a almost daily basis. And that's no way to live because it was making me question my choices and my ability to do things, which really had nothing to do with the toxic environment. It was more that was somebody's abusive behavior gone rampant. So my leaving was logically, on paper, the smartest thing to do. Spiritually, it was the right thing to do. And I felt the empowerment to say, enough is enough. I need to move on. And I feel, and don't get me wrong, I made the right decision. I do not question that in any way, shape, or form. But what I'm realizing now is that, and it's said a million times in my Buddhist practice, is that suffering is part of life, you know, and uh, there's a saying, I don't know quite the right way to say it, but it's like good things happen, bad things happen, take them kind of both for what they are, and then keep chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo and move on, which is basically saying you're going to have good times in your life, and don't get so wrapped up in the good times that you think that's the way it's always going to be every minute. But look at it, acknowledge it, appreciate the good times that are happening for what they are, but stay balanced. And bad things are going to happen. Suffering is going to happen. But don't look at the suffering as something that's so insurmountable that you can't get through it. You have to do the same way with happiness. Look at both experiences with a sense of balance, saying this is all a part of life, and keep chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, which is basically your declaration that you are, one with the law of cause and effect, and that you are connected to a power that is in all things, which connects you to all things, and that you have the power within you to make real change in your life in a positive way. And that the way to get there is by doing good things, not just for yourself, but for other people as well. Because when you help other people, there's something about helping other people that allows you some sort of space to be helping yourself at the same time through the experience of helping the other person. I don't know if that makes sense. But when you can get so wrapped up in your own stuff sometimes that you don't realize it's all a perspective thing. That when you help somebody else through something that they felt was insurmountable or a difficulty, and you give them, assistance, help in whatever way that is, it's like you get a good feeling of doing something good for somebody else. And in that space of doing it, it's almost like that helping somebody else gives you the perspective to be able to look at your problem and say, you know what? The same thing I did for the other person, I can do for myself. That I can get through this moment knowing that I'm going to be okay no matter what. Because you know how you can talk to somebody else who's going through something and you can be as positive to them when they can't really hear it, and then eventually they hear it because it's come from somebody else. But when it's your own stuff, sometimes you're like, yeah, I'm the exception, And I've been going through all of that in this journey of kind of moving from being a talent manager and an actor to trying to create a business for myself that's creative around content creation for YouTube, that hopefully once I get that going, I can use that space to help me be able to continue on with my interest as a writer. But my foundation, in my mind, is the content creation, because, as I've said before, I needed to have a business for myself that gave me the flexibility that if I needed to move back to the East Coast to help out my family, because I promised to be a backup guardian for one of my nieces, which to me is my priority, I had to change my life. I could not be an actor and a talent manager whose work is based in Los Angeles, and then if I had to move back to the East Coast, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. So I recognize I need to change my life so that I can be prepared if that, happens, that I do need to move back. It may not, but I need to be prepared for it, because to me, my family is the most important thing. But in the journey of doing that, I've recognized that I am a creative person. I, enjoy being creative. So that's a part of who I am. And I need to not make the mistake of just putting myself aside and say, oh yes, I'll just become a guardian, for my niece when the time comes. And meanwhile, my personal life is in chaos because I haven't thought about it. So all of this stuff that I've been doing, this journey I've been on, has been very intentional so that I don't want to leave Los Angeles, but I need to be prepared to have a business that I enjoy doing that I can continue to do in another city if it becomes, necessary. Now, I'm saying all this to try and give, context to all the things going on because logically, spiritually, I know I'm on the right path of what I'm doing, but that doesn't make it an easy thing to do. And what I've come to realize, and this whole, strangely enough, this LA fire situation has really brought home to me a lot of stuff that's been going on within me in my life since I made this transition, starting my life from scratch. I'm sorry if there's some flickering on this because my lamp was just kind of spacing out. So I'm saying all this because one of the things that I've come to realize is that regardless of whether you have a spiritual belief system or not, life keeps happening. But I think many of us, and especially in this digital age where people are becoming more isolated and alone, we're not used to dealing with our emotions in a healthy way. And I feel like one, COVID, and now this fire has forced me to see how important it is to deal with your emotions, regardless of what they are, and process them in as healthy a way as possible, because life keeps happening. And it's important if you're, because for me, living my best life, I started this because I wanted to help my niece to be able to see, hey, there's things she can do by pushing herself to live her best life because she's starting her life from scratch with her, memory loss from her accident. And I'm starting my life from scratch by literally leaving behind being an actor and a talent manager and moving into a completely different realm of entertainment by being a content creator. And for me, I want to get to a place where I can afford to get more software and equipment to make more interesting and creative videos, but I can't afford that right now. I've been doing this on the cheap, stretching out as much as I can until I'm able to get my channel to the place where I can monetize it with the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of viewing. Now, on paper, my idea of doing this content creation and stuff, I thought it would be a lot easier. It has not been. It has been a challenge to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of viewing. And I have to accept responsibility for that because while I know I'm on the right path and I believe that this is the path I'm meant to be doing because it allows me to be creative and still be authentically myself, it's hard work. And part of all this is, part of the hard work is it's not hard work making these videos. Yes, to a certain degree it is. It's a learning thing. But that's been something I've been enjoying. And as I've been doing it and enjoying kind of trying to get more creative with some of my videos, I've recognized, yes, I feel like I'm on the right path, but my expectation of, because I feel I'm on the right path, that things should be happening easier. Because you know how they say when you've made a decision, to do something, it's like the forces of the universe start working in your favor. So, and I've always believed that. And I feel like that has been happening to a certain extent, but it's still been this heavy load of literally changing my life from something where, as an actor, I always felt like that was where I could make a contribution and whatnot. And I was able to have some success, with that. But it's not like I had so much success that, oh, I'm just living off of, a huge bank account. No. I've been strategic in saving, but in the course of this year, I've been burning through my savings because getting the subscribers and the viewing hours has been more of a challenge than I realized. And even though I'm an actor, doing these kind of videos, where I'm just being me, is challenging because I'm like exposing myself as opposed to playing a character where you can kind of lose yourself in a character. Here, this is me. So when things aren't getting picked up really well, it's hard not to be taking it personally because I'm like, hey, I'm putting myself out there. And folks are like, I'd rather see some exploding whatever. Or they want a professional, and I could try and have made this channel about, acting, sharing my acting techniques and skills and whatnot. But to me, that's who I was before. I'm not that person anymore. But what I'm realizing now is that all of who I was before, in terms of being an actor, being a talent manager, being a writer, being an administrative assistant at a school employees union, all of those things have helped me to become the person who I am now. So I recognize I don't have to throw all that out. But I do, like whenever I've gone to a new job, I've used the skills I've learned from prior jobs in the one that I'm in. And this is no different. And I'm slowly starting to recognize that who I am, when I'm an actor and feeling kind of positive and jazzed up, is coming from me as a person. So that jazzed up side of myself will eventually start to filter into these videos because I get more comfortable with doing it and get more comfortable with exposing and sharing parts of myself that I'm not used to sharing because I'm a private person. But I'm trying to stay on track even though I feel like I'm waffling all over the place. What I've been realizing is that I've been getting a buildup of stress and fear because, frankly, I thought I'd get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewing hours in a month. That did not happen. Going viral in a video is not as easy as it sounds. The way there's so many different channels saying, oh, just listen to my thing, sign up to my channel, and what I have to say will get you those 1,000 subscribers in 3 days because that happened to them. That doesn't happen for everybody. I just saw a statistic that 98% of new YouTubers give up, before they get anywhere. I don't have that luxury because I've made this my vehicle to be able to be there for my family. So I need to make this work. And I'm determined to make this work. And I'm trying to use all of my, experiences and things that I'm learning from my Buddhist practice to put into having the confidence to do this and having the faith that things are going to work themselves out as they have. And I'll be honest, they have so far, in that when I realized, getting 1,000 subscribers is really hard, I have been chanting like crazy that the money I need to pay all my bills is flowing into my life, and that from the sources that I have money, coming in, whether it's from residuals, from my acting, or from commission from my work as a talent manager, those things have been flowing to an extent that have allowed me to keep going with the faith that eventually I'll be able to get my channel monetized and move my business into being more profitable because I have the money coming in from the ad revenue from these videos. And so it's like I'm butting against the reality of my days, getting or not getting new subscribers, and my faith that it's going to happen. And I was starting to have a dip, like when the wildfires kicked up. It was almost like at the point where I was starting to really stress about, am I going to have money to pay my bills, as we move into 2025. And then, literally all hell breaks loose with these fires, and all the anxiety of, oh my God, life is going to be so much more difficult here because the film and television industry is obviously affected by these fires. So, the commissions, that I get are eventually going to taper off, and my acting residuals are eventually going to taper off. And my side hustle was going to be acting coaching, but because of the way the industry has been, that's been kind of flat. So I've been having to double down on my faith that this content creation is going to take off, and that the money will start to come in, and that I'll be, and I don't have any control over these things. Only to have the faith to put my Buddhist practice to work, knowing that eventually, because I believe I'm on the right track, this is all going to fall into place. Now, that's all good, and I believe I am living my practice, but over this last week, it's like getting hit with a brick in the head. And I've been doubting my practice and, feeling like, it's like this up and down thing where there's certain days where I'm like, yes, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And then other days thinking, am I crazy to be gambling everything that this is going to work itself out because of my faith, that this is going to work out? But so it's like this off and on thing. And because this is who I am, this is who I was as an actor, when I decided to be an actor, and when I decided to go back to being an actor, because I stopped acting, for a while and worked at a school employees union. And then I reached a point and said, if I had the money to do what I wanted to do, what would I do? It led me back to acting. And when I came back to acting, I came back with this is what I love to do. So just trust that it's going to work itself out. And it worked itself out. And a large part had to do with my thinking and my belief system in myself of saying, I'm going to make this happen. This is how I can make a contribution to other people. And by entertaining, by uplifting people. And that's what I feel is the power of being an actor and being in the entertainment business. It's not that you're imagining, oh yeah, I'm just going to create fluff, projects, rack in the cash, and be happy. Most actors are passionate about the acting, about the work, about the characters, about uplifting people, uplifting the audience, making a connection with the audience, that you're raising people's level of happiness, or you're giving them, I think in the acting, or whether you're in a play or a film or television, the acting at its best, or the entertainment industry at its best, is when it creates things that help move people and allow them to process their feelings in a healthy way, so that you can watch a show. And when a show is really well done, it's like you give over, they say this in theater a lot, the audience gives over their suspension of disbelief, that this isn't real. They suspend their disbelief, and for the period of the play or the TV show or the film, you give over to the reality of the show. And when you do that, and it's a well done project, well acted, well directed, then that person is allowed to process feelings going on in their own life. That has nothing to do with the show, but the show may be on a subject that's close to a person's issues, and it gives them a safe vehicle to process those emotions that most people tend to just bury and not deal with. And through entertainment, through art, through film, television, plays, you're able to have an experience that is cathartic, that allows you to feel those feelings in a safe space that may not be on your specific issue, but it touches that space where you've been holding in that pain or that feeling, and allows it to be released. And to me, that is the beauty of the entertainment business, which is why I love being a part of it. Because if you know my story, when I talked about being bullied as a kid severely, for being gay, being an actor, one, gave me the tools to be able to work through my issues to a certain degree, but also have a place to be able to channel that energy and to help other people and feel like I'm being of service to other people through my work as an actor. Because most actors don't make, millions of dollars from their work, which is why I had student loan debt up until last year, because I didn't get that big movie deal that paid me enough to be able to wash away my student loan debt. So I just plugged away, trying to pay it off for 25 years until, I was able to get them forgiven for the last 5 years. Because after 30 years, your student loans are forgiven. And the stuff going on, I don't want to get political, but when I made the decision to move from that other job, my biggest fear was, oh my God, I still have these student loan debt. But I knew I needed to make this change. And the craziest thing is that when I made that decision, I need to get out of this toxic environment. Just a few months later, circumstances worked out that my student loan debt was relieved in full. And that gave me the financial space to be able to start my life from scratch, because I did not have that boulder, on my back, killing me financially. So I'm in this place now, and I see that as my practice, proof of my practice, and that I took a leap of faith for myself, and seemingly miraculous things have happened. So when that happened, I said, oh yes, I am on the right path. And now here, because life continues to throw suffering, happiness. More suffering came, but because I haven't gotten to that place with my practice where I'm like, I have this unshakable faith. I've been like, what's going on? I thought I was okay. I thought things were, and I'm learning, and I started to get that, like I said, from this fire. This fire was so overwhelming. It's like been the topic of almost everybody's conversations that I've had for this last week and a half, I guess it's been, or 2 weeks. So what I've been getting over this last week was recognizing how important it is to not hold on to emotions and feelings that are not good for you, that are unhealthy, whether it's toxic relationships or the anger or the fear or the sadness that comes up in people. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had some technical difficulties. Of course, whenever I start getting on a roll with a video, Uh, I'm using my iPhone, so it was full to capacity. So I had to stop, delete out old stuff, so I had room to tape more. So sorry about that, but I want to use that this as an opportunity to kind of cut to the chase. Again, my channel is about starting your life from scratch and learning to live your best life. And I feel like I would be remiss if I did not share with you these very relevant things going on for me right now, where I have been, like I said, using my spiritual practice to kind of help drive me on this new chapter of my life, because that's who I am as a person. This is just me. Maybe it's part, I, you know, I'm an actor. I, I am a gay man, and my need to feel like I am making a contribution to the world, to my family, to whomever. I feel like that's a part of who I am, and uh, but that doesn't change that I've spent years as an actor, and because I'm on a new path now, does not mean I can't use the skills and talents that I've learned as an actor or as an administrative assistant to help me with this business I'm doing now. And that's what I'm, trying to do. But I'm also trying to use my spiritual practice to give me a stronger foundation. And when I'm able to do that, I really see it working in my life, and my life seems to be flowing really well. What I realized, and this is my challenge in terms of my spiritual journey, which is connected to my life journey, is um, I am learning through my Buddhist practice, learning more about who I am and how I handle adversity, how I handle struggle and suffering, and how I handle, happiness and good fortune and when things are going well. It's really forcing me to look at myself and say, okay, when things start to go bad, it's almost like I fall back into that person who was bullied and doesn't believe that I'm worthy of the success that I want to have or that my contribution is of any value to other people. And my Buddhist practice is saying, no, that's not right. You have within you the power to make your life what it is, what you want it to be, if you believe it in it enough. And the actor in me is saying, yes, that's my way of thinking. That's how I have lived my, life as an actor, is the belief that I can create the life that I want for myself as an actor, you know. And now that I've shifted to content creation, I'm trying to get that same belief in myself as I do the content creation. But it's tricky because these are early days. So all these doubts and fears have been coming up and saying, am I crazy to be doing all this? And it's like I ignore all of the seemingly miraculous things that are proving I'm on the right path. Because whenever there's a problem that comes up, my habit of when a problem comes up is to beat myself up about it and to say, why me? Why me? And I'm learning through my practice to stop saying, why me? And saying, how can I learn from this? And how can I use this experience that I'm going through to move me in the direction that I want to be going in my life? So, in this last um, week or so, like this over the weekend, we had two Buddhist events. One was a kickoff on Saturday for the chapter that I'm belong to, kind of, kicking off the new year with everything going on from a positive place where all the different districts in the Van Nuys district that I belong to, um, um, all the positive things we want to achieve with our district, with the members and whatnot. And then we had our regular, my district had its discussion meeting. And both of those meetings were positive and uplifting. And they reminded me how different I feel when I allow myself to be positive and to surround myself with positive people. So what I've learned over this last week is how important it is, one, to surround yourself with positive people. And when adversity happens, if you find yourself blaming yourself or falling into this why me misery, snap out of it. Find ways to snap yourself out of it and get focused on what it is that you want to achieve. Regardless of what's going on in your life, you have to muster the strength to see what is important. Is it more important that I sit here marinating in my sadness, fears of fires happening in my neighborhood because they've been all over the place? Or say, okay, these things are happening. I need to prepare for it by having myself ready and have Rusty ready in case something happens. But other than that, I need to be focused on getting my life on track where I want to be going. And having the faith that I am on the right path in terms of doing something that I know can eventually, if it hasn't already, be of service to other people, that can help uplift people or take them from where they're feeling stuck to saying, oh, okay, let me try that. That's what I want this channel to be about. And that's how I want to live my life, of being of service while still enjoying the creativity of living my life as a creative professional. So one of the things that I found myself doing was saying, you know what, I've been an actor. I have all these emotions, in me. I can't allow myself to get so overwhelmed by the emotions or stuck in the fear that I don't process what I'm actually going through and just say, no, just put it aside. Putting aside stress, anger, hurt, all those feelings. And I'm not a medical professional, but from my personal experience, I've found it's better to feel what you're feeling, to let it out in whatever way you can, so that you can get back to a place of feeling centered. And what I didn't realize over this kind of year and a half journey I've been on of starting my life from scratch is that I have been suppressing a lot of the feelings I've had, whether it's kind of mourning the loss of a friendship that I, had that's not what it used to be, or giving up a career that I loved so much, but my priorities have shifted in that helping my niece in whatever way I can through this channel, inspire her to live her best life, that is more important to me than an acting job. And I think I've said that before, and I mean it. But that doesn't take away my intention of doing that, of helping my niece, helping my family, and inspiring myself as well, because this has been a journey of recognizing how I've not been living my life as fully, even though I was pursuing, my dream as an actor. I still wasn't living my best life as a holistic person. And now I'm almost being given a do-over, or I'm giving myself a do-over with this content creation journey. And I'm learning now, with what the fires have brought up for me, is the realization that I can't pretend like everything's great and great when I'm stressing about it not working. What I have to do is deal with those feelings of, this isn't working how I thought it would be, but I'm not going to give up. I'm going to find some way to work through it, but allow myself to feel what I'm feeling and release it, instead of recognizing that I'm starting to get stressed and then just pretend like it's not happening. And that is not a recipe for living your best life. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this video, is because one of the things I did to kind of help myself, because I'm an actor, is I started binge watching 911, the series, and it didn't occur to me that 911 that the series 911 was about the LA 911 and the fire department, a drama about 911 and the fire, and firefighters. It, I mean, I guess subconsciously, but as I was watching episodes of that, it, and this is what I'm talking about, where television, film, plays can be cathartic. Watching this Ryan Murphy show was cathartic, because it was about LA firefighters who are, in the news almost 24/7 here because of, the wildfires going on in LA. And I was watching episodes from years ago, but they spoke to what the firefighters do as a living and how important it is that they're helping other people and that they're putting their lives at risk. And you're also watching the journey of different, characters. And for whatever reason, I found myself, and I've been doing this, unconsciously with other stuff, I just got so wrapped up in those episodes. Any little thing that was expressed between characters that were about kind of their emotional issues that they were working through, I found myself getting really emotional. Like I was breaking into tears and kind of connecting with what these characters were going through. And at the same time, I was just profusely, shedding tears. But at the same time, when there were moments that were comical, I was like belly laughing. And it was like my body or my spirit, my mind, whatever, was allowing itself to purge me of all of this built up stress and anxiety and fear that I've been carrying since I left my old job into this world of the unknown, fearing, oh my God, am I going to be homeless because I can't get this channel monetized on a time frame that I wanted? Can I trust that the money will be there for me? All that stuff was really getting to me. And then, kind of inspired from the success of the two Buddhist meetings I went to, I said, you know what? I need to give myself downtime where I'm not thinking about this content creation business and just deal with what I'm feeling. And just watching the 911 episodes, I'm on season 3 now, but I've got so connected to the characters in the story that it's really just it's like been a vehicle for me to release all of this frustration and stress and, depression about feeling like my life is not going how I thought it would be. And at the same time, I feel like I'm starting a brand new chapter of my life that I'm genuinely excited about. I didn't realize I had all this emotion inside of me because I was just trying to pretend like everything was great and working, because what else can I do? I've started this new chapter of my life. I've got to make it work. But I wasn't allowing myself to feel the natural fears that were coming up. And over these last few days, kind of induced by the fire issue, because I think the fires, while it didn't impact me directly, it has, impacted me in the fear level of, is it going to come this week or at any point in my neighborhood, or how is it going to be to live here, or just the fact that the smoke in the air is kind of like irritated my contacts or makes it hard to breathe when you go outside, I'm affected by it. Not as much as other people, and my heart goes out to those people, and I pray for their happiness and their ability to get through what they're going through. But for where I am, it's like this fire was like the last straw in terms of what I was already going through in my personal life. It's like I I was already starting my life from scratch, where the fire has other people kind of starting their lives from scratch as well. This for me was like almost like pushed me over the edge of just feeling like exhausted by the stress of life. And I will tell you the simple thing of finding a really good quality show, which 911 is, and giving myself permission to not think about, everything and just, you know, give over to the world of, of 911 allowed me to kind of process those emotions. At least I feel that way. Process those emotions of releasing the tension that comes with fear and emotional stress that if you don't let out, it builds up and it can either make you sick, or, make you have a heart attack or a stroke or whatever because you're holding this stuff in. I feel like my giving myself permission to watch this show, which is really well acted. I love Angela Bassett, and Peter Krause. All of the characters on that show, the actors, are great. And the funny thing is that as an actor, I was in an episode of it. It was a small part on the 911, Oceans 911, I think was the episode. And so it was like one of the few times that I got to see myself on camera. And they, I think cut away some of the stuff. But seeing myself in the show that I was using to kind of purge things gave me an opportunity to kind of remind myself that, okay, even though I'm not acting now, acting is a large part of who I am as a person, and it's not something I'm ashamed of in any way. So I don't need to divorce myself from what my past was. I was an actor trying to make a living. And I remember shooting that episode. I had so much fun doing it that watching it, I was able to, you know, get into the episode, but at the same time, I could remember how much joy I had being on set and helping create that story, if that makes sense. So it was kind of like it's like the universe was giving me an opportunity to process my stress and process, or be okay with being on a new creative path for myself, and that's not acting, and appreciate, what little success I was able to have. So as I've been watching these episodes, I've been just kind of, allowing myself to release. And it's not just that I've been crying all the time. I've also been belly laughing at stuff that I thought, okay, it's like my body is just needing the release of my emotions that I've been kind of holding on to. So I've said all this, in the roundabout way to say, my channel, again, is about starting my life from scratch and living your best life. And living your best life doesn't always mean every day is rah rah, everything's great, the money is flowing, because life is about happiness and suffering. Things happen, and you have to be able to be balanced in order to handle what new, issues or crises or drama comes at you. But you're only able to do that if you get real with yourself and allow yourself to get to know who you are and say, am I somebody that holds on to my emotions? Or am I like, as a guy, I don't deal with that stuff. So it's like, everything's fine, everything's fine. And then you explode like, a bomb, and you realize, oh, I haven't been dealing with my crap. So maybe, I should. So for me, because I'm an actor and because I love, television and film, I use that as my vehicle to be able to release the fears and stress of everything I'm going through uh, during this fire danger period, because it's not over with the Santa Ana winds going. Hopefully, new fires don't start, but I have to roll with them as they come. But it's been an opportunity for me to look at my life in a bigger picture, aside from these fires, to say, I'm starting my life from scratch, yes. I know I want to make a contribution, but I also have to be real and allow myself to release um, those feelings that I'm having of fear, as I work towards having a rock solid faith that I'm going to make this YouTube channel a success, and that I'm eventually going to be able to make more creative videos that entertain and uplift people, because that's what I want to be doing with my life. And uh, it's been a crazy, crazy period, but I really believe that everything happens for a reason, and that part of my experiencing this fire situation is I'm giving myself the opportunity to process my fear in a healthy way and use it to strengthen my resolve to make my channel a success, and to put the hard work in that I need to make it a success, and trust and have the faith that the money I need will flow into my life, whether that means finding a side job, which it's not like I haven't been. I've been looking for that stuff, but I've been in such a fear state that I feel like I've probably been kind of pushing that away, that I want to leave myself open or get myself to a place where I'm saying, okay, this is what I want to be doing. I want to be creative, as a career path, and that the content creation allows me to check all the boxes that I need in my life right now, and I'm going to make this happen. And until I get there, I'm trusting I will find that remote job that I can do from home that will enable me to pay my bills on time until I can get money flowing from this content creation. So I hope that makes all sense what I've been trying to say. What I've been trying to say, I guess, in a nutshell, is regardless of what you're going through on your path, if you are one of those folks who's starting their life from scratch and want to live their best life, then give yourself permission to process the negative feelings or the stress that you're under, that you're dealing with, in a healthy way. But don't, because you don't want to let it overwhelm you and leave you stuck in your misery, in your suffering, in your sadness, when if you allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, release it, and move forward, then you'll be able to move towards the goals that you want for yourself, and you'll be able to start believing in where you want to take the rest of your life. So I hope that makes sense. Find that way to get yourself to believe so fully in the path that you want to take for yourself that your fears will be pushed aside, because you have to believe that these things are going to happen. But you can't ignore what you're feeling. You have to process it, allow it to express itself, because when you don't, it grows bigger in your mind, in my experience. So when you're going through your crap, face it head on, whether you use humor to do it, or just address what you're feeling, allow yourself to feel it, and then shake that stuff off and get back to feeling and believing in the path that you want for yourself. So for me, I want to be a content creator that is creating material that inspires people, that uplifts them, that makes them laugh, or makes them feel happy in some way, or allows them to find a tool that helps them to move through their sadness. I want to be of service through my channel, and I also want to be able to be creative. And I am determined to make this happen. So I'm sharing this with you because that's what this channel is about, and this is what I'm literally going through. So I was wrestling with whether I should share this stuff or not, because you worry about, oh, am I creating a video that's within my niche? But this is just another side of my niche. If you want to live your best life, you got to put the work in. It is hard. I am recognizing how hard it is to create the life that you want, but it's not impossible. It just takes a lot of work, a lot of inner work of saying, this is what I want for myself. This is the life I want to live, regardless of what it is, and go for it. And make your good faith effort to create the life that you want. For me, I'm putting my all into making these videos, whether it looks that way or not. That's what I'm trying to do. And I am regaining that belief and that faith in myself and in my Buddhist practice, that the work I'm doing is going to help this channel to flourish, and that I'm trusting that as I make good causes in my life and try and be the best person I can be, I will be helping other people, and I will be drawing to me those people who will get value from my work, my videos. So that's it. I hope you guys get something from this, and I hope that you will stick around and see where I get with my journey and share with me where you are with yours. So feel free, if you disagree with everything I'm saying or you agree, leave a comment below. I want this to be a community of people who are either starting their life from scratch or just trying to live their best life and find happiness in their life. That's what I want to be about. I want to be about creating happiness for myself and for other people through this YouTube channel. And you don't have to be an SGI Nichiren Buddhist. You can just be any old person. You can be agnostic. You can be an atheist. You can be Christian, Muslim, Jewish. I don't care. I just want to help you live your best life and share with you what I'm doing with mine. And if that's something that you're of interest with, then subscribe, and let's create a community that's uplifting to one another as we try and live our best lives. Life is too short. And whether you believe in reincarnation or you don't, this is the life you're in right now. So why not live your best life? Just making this video has kind of helped me to get myself back on track in terms of really putting my focus on creating my best life. But it all starts in here, in really believing, one, that I'm worth it, that I have something to contribute, and that I will draw to my life and to my channel those people who need to hear what I have to say. So hopefully that's you, and hopefully we will continue to talk on this journey. Until then, bisous. I love you guys, and stay safe wherever you are. Okay, bye.